Hi, happy Saturday. Welcome to Strolling with the Orchids on a Saturday. And it is the 24th of June, 2023. I know you guys are thinking, woohoo, she finally knows what day of the week and the month it is. But to be fair, I did cheat. I checked, double checked, triple checked, probably quadruple checked before I started the video. I am consciously now trying to be aware of the day of the week and the day of the month. So let's go ahead and get started. I thought we would start here with Miss Peachy. She is a no ID fowl, has bloomed for me several times. She's actually the second orchid that I put in this food basket. But I was looking, and if you look right here, she was repotted 2 years ago into this pot. And this media is starting to break down because every time I give her soak, which I do soak all of the hanging baskets that are in the food baskets twice a week for 30 minutes. And the reason I do it for so long is because they do hang in the air. There's nice airflow. Plus, with the windows open, there's more of a breeze, and it's warm right now. I love this warm weather. But back to Miss Peachy here. I need to refresh this media. Now, normally I would say I need to repot this orchid, but let me show you guys something. Look at all the roots that are starting to go. And when I say go, like they're pretty much everywhere. Plus, I don't really want to disturb her out of here. So my thought is to pour the media out, leave her basically in the pot, and then just refresh the media. Let me know below what you would do. And if you think my plan will work and you want to watch me struggle and figure it out, leave that in the comments below too. Might be a fun time. But look at all of the active root tips. Now, I did cut her spike that she had a couple of weeks ago last time we looked at her. This leaf right here has not continued quite yet, but she does have lots of roots, so she may start a new leaf and not continue that one. Either way it goes, there's a leaf going to come from somewhere, whether this one's going to extend or a new one's going to come out. And over here on the bench, I do have the Zygopetalum No ID that I got from Trader Joe's. Pretty much still not doing anything as far as new root growth, or not root growth, but creating a new growth on top, but she still has lots and lots of roots down in this lovely media. The No ID Oncidium, I am having to water her now just about every other day. That is how much water she is sucking up. And these poor new growths, let me show you. Look at them. Poor things. So after the video, I'm going to go through each one, open them all up. And I may end up just taking her out of this clay pot and putting her into a clear pot. Because initially the reason I put her in this clay pot is this is all moss with some perlite and a few bark chips spread throughout. And I put her in the clay pot to help dry out the pot because there wasn't a lot of roots in the pot. But I feel like now there are a lot of roots and they're competing with the clay pot. So probably going to just basically take her out of this, use the same media because it hasn't been in here probably maybe 9 months, and then stick her into a plastic pot. And then my Miltonia spectabilis here, let me show you this, that I got from Yoshi at Orchids by the Lake. Her blooms look like, let's see, where's the one? If you look at that one, looks like it's getting ready to burst open. So we should have blooms on this lovely lady soon. There are 3 spikes. And I'm probably going to cause some rifting here, but I am going to repot her. Once the blooms open and I see what they look like, I'm going to go ahead and repot her. I know it is said that you should not repot an orchid when they're in bloom. Phalaenopsis, I'm pretty confident with. This is my first Miltonia, so I'm not sure. But I would rather sacrifice these lovely blooms for future blooms because this new growth right here is developing a root system, and I would like to take advantage of the new root system by repotting her sooner rather than later. So like I said, I'm just waiting for the bloom to open so I can see what it looks like. Maybe enjoy it for about a week, and then she's going to get potted up. Wilsonera here is just, let me move this one over so I can kind of slide her out. With all these oncidium leaves everywhere now, I have to be uber careful. For those of you who did not see the post where I broke a dendrobium growth, I was so upset with myself on that. And so this one is the best growth that she's had for me since 2019. It has not rotted. It has matured almost fully. This was the previous growth, and you see that leaf right here. Whoop, this one right here. But look at this. Look at this. This is about a thumb's width longer, and no rot detected at the base. And then she does still have lots of, there's more roots on the other side, but I don't want to turn her around because, like I said, I'm not trying to break anything. And then Catatante Orange Kiss, we cut her spike a couple of weeks ago, and she is already shooting out a brand new growth. This one, I'm going to wait for this to start the new root tips, and then I'm just going to up pot her because this pot right here dries out way too quickly. I'm not able to keep up with her water needs, and so I will up pot her, not too much bigger, but to a little bit bigger pot, or same size pot, but one of the ones from the Orchid Supply Store, which, don't forget, you can go get that 12% discount on every order. And he does ship internationally. Media, obviously not plants, but that is not free shipping. You would incur shipping fees on that. In the United States, that is free shipping. And back here we have the careful, the Celtic Sun Mayo right here, working on her beautiful new growth. And she is in a bark and moss mixture, perlite, charcoal, and the moss is broken up. It's not layered. So she sits here. She used to sit right here, but then after I repotted her, that pot was too big to sit on the edge, so we had to do something about that. Oh, and another thing I got from Yoshi is I got me a porpox, an epidendrum porpox, P-O-R-P-A-X, or P-O-X. I hope I'm saying that right. And she does look a little squished on there, but she had a lot of roots coming, and I wanted them to go into the media, so she is lightly wrapped into the moss. But isn't she just the cutest? This section right here has a lot of roots in it. And then this one here, I stuck the base of it because that's one part, and then that's another direction of growth. I stuck it into one of the little grooves on this here mount. And she hangs right here by the east-facing window with that lighting that you see. That's kind of coming from the Barina light above my head. Yes. Schilleriana here that I got from Norman's Orchid is the Phalaenopsis schilleriana, which is a Schilleriana sucra king. Several awards, and then that has been crossed back to itself, but she finally got her repot out of the green nursery pot so I could see roots, what's going on in the pot. And shortly after that, I thought I saw a leaf coming, so I took that chance because I did see a couple of active root tips in the pot when I took it out. And looky. Oh, isn't that just the most beautiful thing? I love this. And you know what I'm really loving is right now, this bottom leaf, which she was kind of semi-senescing anyway, has not gotten more. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Because my other Schilleriana, I can't manage to keep more than 2 or 3 leaves on it. So I'm hoping I don't do the same thing with this. And then the Phalaenopsis Mutu King Bellina. Well, she just is doing nothing. I think she's taken a little break from growing this leaf. But she still has active root tips in her pot. So I'm wondering, is she going to give me a spike? Or is she just going to shoot out another leaf? Either way, I love these big green apple leaves. Just love it. Up here is Fred Clark After Dark. Is still kind of pushing out that growth. I have not started watering it quite yet. I'm waiting for that growth to get a lot bigger, not just a little bit bigger. And as you can see, that main bulb right there is starting to shrivel, but there is plenty in there to keep her going. Knock over my Paphiopedilum here. And then this is Macrobay Pops. This leaf right here is steadily growing. But best of all, my little Lycaste here, little kitty crossed with little kitty. Look at this. She's getting ready to start developing leaves. I am loving that. And those pseudobulbs are just staying just as fluffy and plump. I was getting a little concerned because that top layer was drying, but the bottom, as you can see, still has some dampness to it. So I'm keeping an eye on the bulbs because I really don't want to overwater her and risk, losing my new growth, because this is my first time ever growing a Lycaste. And then the red apple is, this leaf here is really progressing well. And then the new growth on the Shinyi Heart, if I can get it out, I'm just going to turn it around. There we go. Look at that. Look how much that thing has grown. It's getting ready to pop out leaves and everything else. I'm so excited about that. This is the Girac Brown, Super Brown that I recently took off of a mount and put in here. And so far, so good. I mean, it's only probably been about a week, maybe 2 weeks. So really too soon to tell if that is going to help or hurt her. And then my Jiho's Pink Girl, Summer Love is on the shelf. Pink Girl here is finishing off this leaf, and if we zoom in, she has another leaf coming as well. And I love the speckling on this one. I love how she's picking up some of the Schilleriana modeling. Very pale and very lightly done. Love it. And then we have this one here that I got from Big Leaf Orchids. This is the Foul Shi Fang Savory Orange, a clone. I was expecting it to be a little more orange with the word savory orange, but she's cute. Look at her. She's cute. She's just a cutie. And I had read that they were supposed to be fragrant. This one I have not detected any fragrance. So not sure if she's just not getting enough light or if this one's just not going to be fragrant. But in addition to opening blooms, she is, let's see if we can get it to focus. There we go, growing a leaf, as well as working on another spike. So that's an exciting thing, and I love, look how compact those leaves are. I love this. And if she decides to start falling over, that is perfectly fine. I am totally cool with that. And she's got plenty of roots in the pot, so that is a good thing. So this is the other Schilleriana that I was talking about. I can't keep more than 2 to 3 leaves on. She does have a little leaf, like I can barely see it in there, and I can't zoom in and focus because I've tried to do it with the camera earlier. So she does have something happening in there. I'm hoping that this time, though, the leaf grows and I don't lose any others. So, and the barking is just, we're just going to have to work through the barking, guys. This is the small piece of the Girac Brown Super that I initially put in with that one, but then I thought, no, I'll put it separate. And just in a little seedling cup. She's doing pretty good. So nothing, like I said, it's only been maybe 2 weeks max that they've been in there. And then Paphiopedilum Mel Hell, but I call her Mel Star because to me the blooms look more like the Mel Star, not the Mel Hell. Has, of course, her 3 growths, and I don't see a new fan developing yet on this one here that bloomed a few months ago. Let's see if we can find anything. And no, because she had started this fan right here while she was still in bloom. So I don't see a second lead. And then I call this one my Ninja Orchid, but it is the Phalaenopsis cornucervi variation Chateladeae. Since being repotted into, not repotted, I should say, well, I did repot her, but this is the same media she had. I just took it out, cut up the moss instead of layering the moss. And as you can see, we have a beautiful little root tip starting right there. And then that root, I'm hoping will decide to continue to curve down and go into the media. More importantly, though, she is continuing to grow her leaf there. Maybe I'll get a bloom from her next year. And I got a surprise the other day. I was pulling out my Sonochi's Wine Delight to give her her water. And I'm going to turn it. I'm not going to pick it up. I did just water her a couple of days this morning, so she is a little heavy and not quite ready to pick up too many heavy things. But you probably already see it. Look at there. We have a second direction of growth. And at first I was like, oh no, what do I do? Do I stop watering her for that growth or what? But I'm like, you know what? It started growing after I started watering her. I'm just going to leave it be. I'll just know next year that there is a possibility for a second growth. So I'll wait until this, because I didn't start watering it till the leaves got really bigger. I'll just wait another week or so, maybe a month, to see if we have another direction of growth coming. And then this is the Tillumnia that I got from Yoshi, Orchids by the Lake, when I received my wish list orchids as well. This is not a wish list orchid, but I wanted some Tillumnias. He had been holding this for me for quite some time. But there's that new fan I told you guys about a couple of weeks ago in a previous video. And the roots are continuing to go. I don't want to mess with her too much. And I always forget to show you guys my Neophonetia back here. So this is a Neophonetia, now known as a Vanda falcata. This one I grow in small lava rock. And I try to keep the lava rock away from the bases. But look at the gorgeous roots in here. Look at these. My goodness. Look at that. Now, when I got her back in, I've had her for 2 years. I got her back in January of 21. And this fan, she had this fan, and then I believe it was a smaller fan. But now she has, so we'll count those two. She's got 3. And from there we have 4, 5, and 6. So she has 6 fans. So again, probably another year or two before I see those gorgeous blooms and get that scent everyone talks about. But I am just ecstatic and over the moon with her growth. And she literally sits in front of the window. She has primo real estate in the light. And above them is the Vanda Pascherette Classic from Orchid Supply Store. Again, you can get that 12%. That is in this hexagon basket, in a basket. And that leaf is really, really doing well. Really doing well. I still don't see roots, active roots on the outside. There might be some on the inside. I'm not digging around. I'm going to let her do her thing and trust the process. And then real quick, the mounts. I was going to remoss this one, but this moss is fine. I'm going to tackle this one next year. I think I'm going to take her off the mount and remount her because of the way that she is growing. If you look, she is climbing off the mount. So next year when I remount her, I'm going to set her on the mount. Like set the base on the mount, so she's going to be sticking out quite a bit. But for now, this year, I'm just going to let her go wild and crazy and do her thing. And then after remossing my Phalaenopsis mount, got a little confident and thought, let me remoss my Brassivola Little Stars. And I started doing it and realized that that mount was starting to get a little small for all of the growths that were coming. I'm going to actually pull her off and show you guys, because look at all of the growths that are coming right here on this side. And then she's got several right here. And then, of course, the new one's there. So I'm decided just to put her on the mount that my Tolumnia Jurek Brown Super Brown came off of. And I think she looks fantabulous. Just fantabulous. So now she stays damp a little bit longer, and I am not having to worry about her dehydrating because I was not able to keep up. I'm trying to put her down and talk at the same time. I was trying to keep her from dehydrating, and I just could not. But look how much Sherry Baby Spike has grown since we saw it, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? Look at this. I did stake it because I don't want her to eventually stick out here. Plus, this is a reminder that that is there. So when I pull her out every week to flush her, then, you know, that visual so I don't break it. But also, if we look right down there, let's see if I can get the angle right. Maybe I can turn her just a smidge here and see if we can find it. Where is it? Let's move this out the way, maybe. I'm trying to show you guys a new growth, but I just cannot get the angle right. Up, there it is. We have us a nice new growth in the center. So now she has 4 directions of growth. Well, 5 if you include the one with the spike, because she's got the 3 over on this side. She's got the one in the middle, and she's got the one that's spiking now. So she's like, I love my little LECA setup, lady. Thank you so very much. And my Maxillera tenuifolia that I got from Justin's Orchids, I noticed has a 3rd growth right there. And then the other 2 growths are just, especially this one's just really taken off. And it is just an all moss with some bark at the bottom. And then look at Sweet Memory. Look at her. I see a bud a-swellin'. Look at the bud a-swellin'. And it looks like she's going to have a 2nd bud a-swellin'. And this leaf growth, this is 2 months of leaf growth. When I got her, she had her spike, she started. This leaf was starting. Look at this. This is 2 months. If I can't say she has settled in and is loving life here right by the east-facing window with some supplemental indirect lighting from Barina lights, I don't know what else to say. I personally think she is just loving her life. And let's just look inside, because not on this side. Let me put her down. Again, I am starting to pick up things with my right hand that are a little weighty, but I have to be extra careful. But all of her roots are still doing well, active root tips. And she is in all moss perlite with just a little bit of small Orchiata bark mixed in for aeration. But primarily it is moss. And she is loving this. And I am loving her. So that, oh, and I did move this kind of like that because, again, if you can kind of tell, it kind of started going that way and now it's coming back this way. It's because she was trying to go out the window. She was going out the window. And then my poor bromeliad, not poor, I mean, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, but she's starting to look really pitiful, really pitiful, because her bloom spike is drying out, which is natural for them to do. And as the bloom spike dries out, the baby starts, and then of course mama starts dying off. But she just looks horrible in the process. And then she did get dried out quite a bit. I didn't leave water in the vase, which, for those of you who don't know, this is, well, some people call it cup. I call it her vase, because that's where we fill in the water. But I left her dry for a little bit too long, and you will get this leaf tip dieback when that happens. And I'm not really going to talk too much about these girls down here, because a lot of them are the Orchid Supply rescues that we did just talk about. And so I really don't want to repeat and bore you guys. But this one is the Young Home, the one that has the number and it just says pink on it. So I did move her down here because she was sitting up here, but I moved her down here and she's just working on her little leaf. And then let's see if I can do this without dropping her, because she's not that heavy. but her roots are starting to come out over the mesh pot. And let's see if I can do this with one hand, because generally I do it with two to make sure I don't break any of those beautiful roots. Let's see. There we go. And again, I just love this little planter. I love it. I have two of them. I think they're so freaking cute. Oh, and then Phalaenopsis Hyacinth Venus. This one here that I got, I believe it was from Brooksides. Right there. Well, I got her back in July of 22, so almost a year ago. She did come with a double spike, and shortly after I got her, I did cut one of the spikes, let the other one kind of bloom out. In that time, she has grown this leaf. I'm not sure about this leaf. I'm definitely sure about this leaf. And then she's working on a new leaf. She's put in several roots into this pot. And in this pot is bark with a little bit of moss sprinkled in as well, because at the time I wanted to encourage her roots that she was growing to go down into the pot. So this is one of those that has the bark, and then there's moss just up under the root ball, and then bark on top. And is there anything else we want to talk about before we go? Oh yeah, so this is that Brassavola Little Stars piece that I broke off. I put it here thinking, in your face every day. I still don't water her every day. And as you can see, it's starting to desiccate. I think I'm just going to take this piece. Oh, wait, am I? Wait a minute. It's not coming out as easily as I thought. Let's just real quick, since we're here and we're hanging out talking about some orchids. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Do we have root tips? Let's see if we can focus it. I don't see any root tips myself. Let me get a little closer because I'm blind, guys. Yeah, I think those are just holding them in. So more than likely, I'm probably just going to take this and it's going to find its way into the bin, because I do have, well, where did it go? Here it is. Sorry about the swings. I do have this one here that is growing some nice new growth. I hope everyone has a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.